Hello everyone and welcome back to another video on the channel. Today we're going to be talking about a brand new movie that came out on Amazon Prime called One Night in Miami, directed by Regina King, the excellent actress who I absolutely loved in HBO's Watchmen. She is a fantastic actress, and this is her directorial debut from a screenplay and based on a stage play by Kemp Powers, who of course co-directed and wrote Soul, which, guys, this is just a pair and just a movie that is just perfectly put together, that just has all these great actors and great directors and great writers all come together to make something that is truly special. As you guys can tell, I absolutely loved this film. This movie is a fictional story of Malcolm X, Cassius Clay before he became known as Muhammad Ali, Jim Brown, and of course Sam Cooke, and all four of them being friends in real life. And there's a story of all four of them being in a hotel room after one of Cassius Clay's big championship wins before he became Muhammad Ali. And this movie was about what would that conversation between those four legends, those four just absolute legends in their own separate fields, one being a football player, one being a musician, one being Malcolm X, and of course one being a boxer, and having all these different worlds and all these different philosophies that all of them have, whether it's the civil rights movement of the 60s, or whether it's based on religion and beliefs, or becoming a Muslim with Muhammad Ali and with Malcolm X, and that whole dynamic between those two characters, all these different things, all these philosophical, battles of the mind that is in this film. What would that have looked like if these four people, if we got to be a fly on the wall to see what that conversation could have been? Because the situation around this movie is technically true, but the conversations themselves is all written by Kemp Powers. And that's the first thing that I want to praise about this movie, because for one, it's based on a stage play that he also wrote, which I'm glad he wrote it too, because I can absolutely praise him for his writing, because this movie is so well written, because it really does capture all the philosophies of all these different characters so perfectly. This is a dialogue movie, similar to Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. That movie was just all completely dialogue pretty much. There was no giant, action things going on, or, events that's happening around the world, or different things. It's basically these four men sitting in a hotel room talking and arguing and laughing and making jokes at each other's expenses, and all these great conversations. And that's all of Kemp Powers writing the crap out of this screenplay. It is that good. If he doesn't get nominated for a screenplay Oscar, I'd be genuinely shocked. He did a great job writing this film. And of course you have Regina King being the director behind this film, and I have to praise her work too, because for a directorial debut, this is a damn good one of the better ones that I've seen. And her way of getting these performances, like I've said, these things that I'm praising about this movie is the writing, the performances, and when you praise the performances, that has to go to the director, because she was able to get these performances out of these actors. And I will say, in some ways, you can tell that it's her first feature film. There's some, elements of, when you're shooting four different characters, you break the rule of 180, and at some points, it just became a little jarring. And I don't think this movie was particularly shot extremely well because of, her limitations of not knowing how to move the camera as much, not having as much experience behind the camera as she does in front of the camera, which is why she was such a great, character director. She's a fantastic character director. In terms of a camera director, it wasn't as, stylish and as, flourishing as I wanted it to be. I wanted there to be more energy behind the camera. Although the cinematography is good, there wasn't as much, power behind the actual camera itself, but the power was within those performances, which, again, I have to praise every single actor in this movie. Kingsley Ben-Adir's portrayal of Malcolm X was perfect. He was my favorite in this entire film. He was spot on. I loved everything about his character, and how, everybody knows, at least knows of Malcolm X, if not his story, and everything about it, and how by the end of this movie, it was kind of a tribute to Malcolm X because of his philosophies and because of what he was doing to fight for the civil rights movement at the time, and his differences in philosophy, especially with his character and Sam Cooke's character, because that back and forth between those two characters was riveting. And of course, Sam Cooke was portrayed by Leslie Odom Jr., and he was fantastic in Hamilton as Aaron Burr. I loved him in that play, or I guess film play on Disney Plus. but he's a fantastic singer, and him portraying this character was great because like I said, his back and forth between him and Malcolm X was amazing, and having him bounce back and forth, those two actors going at it, was amazing to watch. Aldis Hodge was also in this movie as Jim Brown, and he was probably, of all the four of the characters that are in this film, he had the least amount to do with it, although he was fantastic. I love him in movies like The Invisible Man. That's the first time that I saw him, and he was great in this movie as well, but he wasn't as prominent as the other three, I feel. And Eli Goree played Cassius Clay, and this was an aspect of Muhammad Ali that I didn't really know about. I don't know much about his journey to becoming a Muslim and his journey to that, and his friendship with Malcolm X, because I haven't seen movies like Malcolm X or Ali. I really need to watch both of those movies. I know of his story and I know a lot about him, but I haven't actually watched any films about it. So being the first time I've really been exposed to his journey and his philosophies and his beliefs, and how he was able to transition to that, and the skepticism that he had and the influence that he had from Malcolm X, that was another excellent back and forth between him and the actor who played Malcolm X. Those two were great bouncing off of each other, and they were both fantastic. This movie in general should be in the conversation for the Oscars, whether it's for Regina King or Kent Powers or one of the actors, whether they're nominated for Best Actor or Best Supporting Actor. I don't even care, because all these elements came together to make such a great movie. So I highly recommend you guys check out One Night in Miami on Amazon Prime. This is definitely one to look out for during award season. So thanks guys for watching this video. Subscribe if you guys have not subscribed already to this channel. Comment down below what you thought of this movie and other movies you would like me to review in the future. Leave a like, and I hope to see you all in my next one.